What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video with your boy Moose, and once again I've got my buddy Adam with me. He's super unmotivated right now, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna get him super hyped up and ready to go. Today is an exciting day. We're gonna be throwing on the new Fab Four bumper onto the truck. I'm super excited about it, so without any further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so getting started, we just have to go through. We're gonna go through with the T15, and we're gonna get all these little bolts here on the grill, on the wheel well covers, and underneath the bumper all undone. So we'll get all those undone, and then we'll move on to the next step. So far, we've got the wheel well covers, all the necessary bolts taken out for those, and the ones for the grill on the top. So next we just got to get the ones that are on the bottom. On these wheel well covers, guys, I found the easiest way is to turn them out from the side on the side that you're doing, and to undo them that way. It just gives you the easiest access, especially if you have bigger wheels on already. And then as far as the number of screws you got to take off, 8. There's about 8 of them you want to take off for the wheel well covers so that you can get the best access in there. It's just going to make your guys' job so much easier when you're putting all these together. Right, Adam?
Right.
All right, so we've got all the T15s undone. Now it's time to move, I believe it's to a 10 millimeter. Actually, we will be using a 7 millimeter because, as you guys remember, in the air dam video, we will have to get that bolt there off to get it off that arm that goes up. So we'll want to do that on both sides. So far, we've got all of the T15s done. We've got the 7 millimeter that goes down to the small bumper connections on those arms. Trying to get both sides done at the same time so that it kind of all just comes off at once. Super easy. So the next step on taking this bumper off is there's some 10 millimeters that are up under here. All right, and here you guys go. You can kind of see those are them up in there. They're kind of a pain to get to, but as long as you have a good extension, you can get up there and get them undone. All right, guys, so once you get those two, there are 2 down there, so just make sure you get both of them out, and then we're on to the next step. So the next step, guys, is gonna be removing the 3 bolts that you see up here. We've got the one up top, the one in the middle, and then the one on the back. These bolts here that we're about to undo are 7 millimeters. So we just got all the bolts and screws out that we need to get out, so now Ab and I are gonna try and pull this all off in one piece. It's all attached, if you guys remember from the grill install video. So we got the bumper off. Guys, if you do have the VZ 4x4 grill on there, make sure you guys unplug them before you completely let the grill fall to the ground, otherwise you're gonna yank those. Who knows what kind of damage will cause. But we've got the initial grill and bumper off, so we're just that many steps closer to getting this deal one on. On to the next step. All right, so the next step is we gotta remove this upper air dam. So we're gonna get that taken off. All right, so when I was removing the upper air dam, I got these clips undone pretty easily. No issues there, but the second I got to these side clips here, I lost my patience and just ripped it off. So if you're one of those that wants to keep that, good luck, I don't know. I just ripped it off, so you don't need it anyway. Once you get the upper air dam removed, the next step is to take this off, and for this you're gonna need a 15 millimeter to get these bolts undone. We just got the bumper off, the actual bumper. So now there's 2 bolts on each side. So once you guys get that removed, it should come right off. Just make sure you either have someone helping you or have a jack stand holding up in the center of the bumper so that kind of takes weight off those bolts as you're taking them out. So once you get the bumper removed, you're gonna come over and you're gonna get the grill removed, because what it wants you to do is it wants you to have the grill mounted back on the truck before you mount the steel one. So we're gonna get on that and removing the grill from the bumper. Next step on this is gonna be putting the grill back on. So I'm gonna get that grill mounted so you guys can see, kind of get an idea of how it's supposed to be. And then what that's gonna help us do is there's two like arms that come off the grill that we're gonna have to drill into so that we have mounting points for some of the pieces for the bumper. One quick thing, guys, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't paying attention when we threw this on initially, is when you put these screws back on for the grill, make sure that you leave them loose, because you're going to need to actually pull out on the grill and be able to mark some drilling hole points in these arms just down here. You're going to need to drill some holes for this bumper into this grill. Just kind of gives it another attaching point to make it more sturdy. So make sure that you guys leave these loose so that you can maneuver and move this grill around as needed. All right, so when you guys are doing these mounting bracket, or the pieces that are gonna go right under the headlights, you're gonna do these mounting brackets, keep them loose so they can adjust left, right, up and down. But what that's gonna allow you to do is actually pinpoint your drill hole, because you're gonna have to attach it to the grill itself. Because the only attaching points are actually on the back, and they only mount up in these holes here. We got our holes marked now, so we're gonna go ahead and start drilling. So the next step on this is gonna be removing the tow hooks, so we're gonna get those removed right now. We got our holes drilled, we got them lined up, so let's get these tow hooks removed. Oh guys, when you're taking these off, I forgot to mention that these are 18 millimeter. You're gonna need an open-ended wrench, and you're gonna need your socket. So we're gonna run these bolts down through here, guys. This is where the original bolts were in the frame before, or in the body before. And so now we're gonna run those through and get each of these side plates mounted that go right under the light. As we're putting these these armor pieces on, is what I'm gonna call them, we found that it's easiest to put bolts down with the nut bolting the nut up, and then there is one where you'll do the opposite. One where there's the bracket from the armor piece to the grill that connects it. You're gonna want to put bolt up, nut on top, and that's just the alternation is gonna make it so it's easiest to use a ratchet and an open-ended wrench to where you can attach these pieces. So when you guys are putting this all back together on the grill, make sure you throw your 10 millimeters back in here that go on the front end of the grill in before you throw on the bumper. We've pretty much got everything done on the armor pieces that go under the tail or under the headlights, and everything's situated and attached to the grill. So I'm going to go ahead and actually tighten the bolts up here at the top. That'll put everything as far as the grill and the armor pieces underneath set to go solid, and then after that we'll get attaching the actual bumper itself. Right now, with me not having a light bar in the bumper yet, I'm actually going to wrap up my cords for my fog lights, because that's what I'm going to wire them to. I'm going to wire that light bar to the fog lights at some point, but for now, since I don't have a light bar, I'm just going to wrap them, put a Ziploc bag over them, and zip tie them to protect them from elements, water, dirt, all that stuff. All right, you guys can see that I got the fog lights wrapped up, the cords for them, so that's just a recommendation. You guys do what you will. Next step's going to be getting the bumper attached, so that's going to be the fun part, but it should go pretty easy. I've got some good help with me, so we'll get it taken care of. We finally got the bumper all on. We just have to throw the mesh pieces in. It's been a super long process. Definitely a very much of a learning curve, figuring out how everything lines up and figuring out the best way to do things. We're gonna hit the next step in getting those mesh vents put in. So after fighting it for probably over an hour now, just trying to get the mesh pieces in, I highly recommend you put the mesh pieces in first. It'll make putting the bumper itself on maybe more of a pain, but if you have the right tools, you should be able to access it pretty easy and get it mounted right. But it's coming together really well. Yes, it is the following day. Last night, by the time we got everything cleaned up and good to go, it was just super late. I was super tired, so I just went, got dinner, came home, and passed out. But we got the bumper all done, and I'm so stoked to show you guys. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully this will help you guys get through the process a lot quicker than it took us to get through. You guys always remember, take what you can and give nothing back, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Now, bring me that horizon.